10 fitness tests that men should be able to pass, but most can't. In this video, I'm going to go over these 10 tests. I'm actually going to go through them with you one by one, step by step, and make sure you watch the entire video. Wait till the end because, spoiler alert, I wasn't able to pass all 10. So make sure you watch the whole video, wait till the end and see which ones threw a little bit of a curveball to me. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. So there are a bunch of different lists on this type of topic. I like this particular one because I think it's reasonable, it's doable, it's challenging, but I think the average guy should be able to do most, if not all of these. And I love the fact that they went after different modalities. So strength, upper body, lower body, we got some body weight, we got some cardio, some flexibility, mobility, a little bit of everything. And I think that's super important. So the first one we have here, 30 consecutive push-ups. And I can tell you from experience, most guys cannot do 30 consecutive push-ups. It's a bit of a sneaky difficult one here because everyone assumes the push-up is just this very easy exercise, and it's really not. So most guys can't do 30 push-ups, and even those who can, usually the form isn't great. So they're not getting down low enough, not going all the way up into lockout. So make sure you do this with full range of motion and good technique. If you watch my video here, I've been practicing push-ups for a long time now, so this one was kind of in my wheelhouse. Didn't find it too challenging, but a great start, 1 for 1. The second test here is a 2-minute plank. So the plank is going to test your core strength, your core stability, and muscle endurance. This one, I wasn't particularly worried about whether or not I would finish, but I do have to admit it was a little bit more challenging than I had anticipated. I got the laptop here just to show you the timer, just to show you that I didn't cheat. You want to make sure you're engaging your core here, holding that low plank. 2 minutes is a good goal. I think a lot of guys, this will be a little bit easier than some of the other tests in this video. So let me know how the plank went. 2 for 2. The third one here, we have 10 consecutive burpees without taking a break. We're talking about chest to ground, full range of motion, no stopping, no crawling. And to be honest, I actually think this is the easiest one on the list for most guys to be able to complete. The only thing that's going to really hamper you here is if you have any sort of mobility issues or you have any sort of injury. So you want to go chest to ground, you hop up, you jump. As long as you can do 10 in a row without taking a break, you pass this one. Like I said, for me personally, this was the easiest one on the list, 3 for 3. Number 4, so now we're going to get into some of the strength exercises, and these can be a little bit tricky. So if you're an average guy and you're not used to doing these movements, I wouldn't even bother just because it's not just a strength test. There is a technical element. So either have a trainer, a spotter, a coach, someone to help you out if you've never attempted it because it's not worth the injury risk. Okay, so number 4 is a bench press, your body weight. So for me, this is the heaviest I am every single year, end of February, kind of bulking season. I'm about 195 right now. So I got on the bench press, and for me, 195 bench press, not really too much of an issue. But once again, if you're not used to doing these exercises, this can be a huge jump. If you've never benched before, don't attempt this one. But for me, another successful 4 for 4 to get started. Number 5, same idea. We're going to use the barbell squat. So the barbell squat is obviously a great lower body exercise that is going to test your strength and your core stability as well. This one's even more technical than the bench press. So everything I said before, just keep that into consideration. So if you're not comfortable, if you've never back squatted before, just don't bother attempting it. And as you can see for me, once again, using my body weight at 195, not much of an issue here. The strength ones were probably the easiest ones for me just because I've been at the gym working out consistently for a long time. But if you're more of a cardio guy, if you do more calisthenics, these might be a little bit more challenging for you. The next one, number 6, is being able to deadlift 1.5 times your body weight. So for me, I rounded up. I did 295 pounds. The deadlift is probably my favorite exercise. So I knew 295 for me wouldn't really be much of an issue, a thing. But technical wise, again, like the last two, super important that you know what you're doing. So don't attempt this unless you know your form is on point. The deadlift is a great exercise. I think it's probably one of, if not the best strength exercise to really assess where you are strength-wise. You're working almost every muscle in your body, especially throughout the backside. So that's number 6, the deadlift 1.5 times your body weight. And we are off to a good start, 6 for 6. Number 7, and this one I think is probably going to have the highest failure rate for guys out there, so don't beat yourself up if you struggle to hit this one. This was the only one in the list that I looked at and figured not only would most guys not be able to do this, but I don't know if it's fair to say that most guys should be able to do this. And that is 10 consecutive pull-ups. So when I think of pull-ups, I'm thinking double overhand, start with your arms extended and then get your chin up to the bar. Unless you're exercising regularly, unless you practice pull-ups regularly, you're probably not going to be able to do this. I know a lot of guys that do work out regularly that can't hit 10 pull-ups. So if you can, it's great. Pull-ups are an awesome exercise, your upper body strength. If I had to choose one exercise upper body-wise to master, the pull-ups would probably be on the top of the list. So if you watch me here, I've been practicing pull-ups for a long time. And even for me, 10's no joke, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily a struggle. So check that out as a win, 7 for 7. And then the next one here is a bit of a tricky one, but I love this test. It is a 50-meter farmer's walk with your body weight. So whatever your weight is, you divide it by 2 and you grab those dumbbells. So I rounded up. So I'm 195 pounds. I got 2 100-pound dumbbells and I didn't have access to a runway here where I could just walk 50 meters. So I had to use my garage and go back and forth and kind of estimate the distance. Great exercise here because there is such a strong correlation between overall health, overall strength, and your grip strength. So with this exercise, you're going to notice that your hands are going to start giving out, your forearms are going to start to burn, and then there's just that endurance aspect of it. So I think this is a great test for every guy to try, and it's not as easy as it looks. So let me know if you tried this one and how the farmer walk went for you. I kind of sped my video up here. But even for me, I wouldn't say this was super easy. I did think it was going to be a little bit more difficult, but we're going to chalk that one up as a win. 8 for 8. And the last 2, these are the ones that gave me a little bit of a curveball. And they probably should be the easiest ones for me, at least to be honest. Number 9 is being able to touch your toes without bending your knees. So it's a tale as old as time. We got the big meathead lifting all these weights that is stiff as a board. And I got super cocky with this. I did it. I touched my toes. I felt great. Thumbs up. Super cocky. Looked at the video and realized I did have a little bit of a bend in my knee. So I'm going to deduct half a point there. I'm going to give myself half a point because it wasn't necessarily difficult for me to do. But when I look back in the video, it wasn't as pretty as I thought. So to be honest, this one I probably wouldn't have included in the list because I think while mobility, while flexibility is important, I don't know if this is the test really to determine whether or not this is something that all guys should have to do. But it's funny because the strength ones were no problem. And then I got to try to touch my toes and yeah, not so pretty. And then the final one, this one I did not complete, but there is an asterisk. So you'll watch this video here and what ends up happening is the goal is to run a mile in 8 minutes or less. Now, I could have done this on the treadmill, but I wasn't at the gym while I was recording this video. I looked outside and it's Canada winter. We got snow everywhere. We got slush everywhere. So I looked outside. I said, no, thank you. And as a result, didn't do it. So I don't get the points. For me personally, the longer I have to run, the more I struggle. I don't really run in the winter time, but when summer comes, I like to run. These short distances, 1 mile under a minute, I'd like to think I'd be able to do that pretty easily. But talk is cheap. I didn't do it, so we're going to deduct a point there, which ends up being 8.5 out of 10. So if you guys have been following along, let me know where you were at. And I will say a lot of these bodyweight exercises are much easier if you can get down to a low enough body fat percentage. So my brother actually put a great video together, how to get a 6-pack by the time summer starts. So if you're listening to this the end of February or winter at any point, click on that video, check it out, and get lean. You'll see your strength maintain, and the body weight stuff will get a lot easier as well. So we'll see you guys in the next video.